Good afternoon or good evening, my YouTube viewers. It's Palestine here. So I'm here because I'm making the video that I said I would make. It's around 7 o'clock in the evening, something like that. So I do apologize if there is a shadow on the screen because I'm making the video in my bedroom where I normally make it, and I tried to make myself look a little bit presentable to actually make this video. So last week, I was having to take a bath with antibacterial lotion to get all the bacteria off of my body, and I specifically focused on my top region where I was going to have the operation. And then I washed my hair on Sunday night, so I washed my hair last night and I'll probably have to wash it tomorrow night, but I won't be able to get myself wet, so I will have to bend over the bathtub and put my head over the bathtub to actually wash my hair so I don't get any water where I had the operation. And so I got up this morning at 6 o'clock and I put the dishes away and I did a little bit of laundry. I don't know if you are aware of this, but I don't have a washing machine or a spin dryer, so I have to wash my clothes by hand. And when I have washed my clothes by hand, I have to hang them on a clothes horse. And so that's basically what I did last night and this morning. And so after I put away the dishes and sorted out my laundry, which wasn't a lot because I just have like a little tub, a small little tub like that. And so I can only put a few things in the tub. So I'll have to wash my clothes every day to make sure that I have washed everything, that I haven't overfilled the tub. And then if I have something like jeans or something like that, then what I have to do is I have an old clothes horse, and I put the old clothes horse on the bathtub, and then I hang the jeans over the old clothes horse to let the water drip down into the bath. And then if I have sheets or something like that, then I have to use that procedure as well. So, as I said, I live a very scarce life. The only reason why I have stayed alive these last 10, 11 years is because I've done things as cheaply as I could possibly do them, which means I don't have a washing machine. I had a spin dryer, but because my neighbors were harassing me and they broke my spin dryer, I couldn't keep having the spin dryer repaired, so I just had to get rid of the spin dryer, and so now I just wring the clothes out by my hand, and that's one of the problems that I have living where I live, being harassed by my neighbors. And but going back to the story of my operation, after I finished doing my laundry and doing the dishes, we walked to the hospital, and then we had to wait about half an hour for the medical staff to allow me into the adult surgical unit. So I went into the adult surgical unit, and they told me to put on a gown, a surgical gown, and then I don't have a what do you call it? I don't have a dressing gown. I don't own one because I just live in a tiny apartment, and so I don't own a dressing gown. So I put on another surgical gown on top of the first surgical gown. And then so they took a bunch of tests. They checked my blood sugar, which wasn't great, but I guess it was okay enough to have an operation. And then they checked my blood pressure, and then they asked me a whole bunch of questions. And they told me that the last operation I had difficulty breathing because I had like spasms in my lungs, bronchial spasms. I've never even heard of bronchial spasms, but they said that is what I had, was bronchial spasms. And then so I spoke to the anesthetist, and they asked me about what I'm allergic to, and they asked me about my health, and asked me about taking medications. She was asking me about taking an inhaler, and I said, well, I don't want to take the inhaler because I have to take so many drugs already that I don't want to take the inhaler. And she says, well, you need to take the inhaler because I can just tell just by talking to you now that you're gasping for breath. And so I did take the inhaler just so I could have the operation, but I'm not going to keep taking it because I take so many drugs already just to keep me, number one, alive, and number two, in the mental state that the government wants me in. And so, and then they said that I was number one on the list to have the operation. So then the doctor came to speak to me, and he said that I could have another operation. He said that he can't see it. He said that he has to do another lumpectomy. He said he can't see it, but so there's a possibility that I'll have to have another operation, and he said I will definitely get another seroma, because a seroma is when you take out all that flesh, there's a hole there, and so water builds up in that hole, and then it will eventually dissipate into your body, but it'll take a while to do it. And then he was telling me some other things, and then I had to sign this documentation, and then I had the operation, and then so I had to walk to the theaters, and then I had to lay on the bed with a pillow and a blanket, and then the anesthetist jabbed me, and then put the anesthetic and I think some other drugs inside of me for the operation. And then basically what happened, they were asking me some questions, and I was talking, and then I became unconscious. And then they woke me up because after the operation, which I don't remember any of it, they woke me up, and because obviously they needed the bed, so they were trying to get me out of there as soon as possible. So they wanted me to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, but I think, the thing is when you're having an operation and you're unconscious, you can't help yourself. So I think I actually wet myself in when I was having the operation, but I just wet myself, nothing else. And they checked my blood sugar. They gave me some toast, and I gave my boyfriend some of the toast, but my blood sugar went up to like 10 just having a piece of toast with butter. And that just tells you how bad my diabetes is. It's not eating all day long and having a piece of toast at lunchtime would raise my blood sugar another point. And so, but they did let me go. They did let me go. And so, and then it was lunchtime, so we went to the dining facility in the hospital, and we had lunch at the dining facility and the hospital, and that was 11 pounds just for the two of us. And I didn't have very much. I think I had Hunter's chicken or something like that on a bed of rice, some kind of chicken on a bed of rice. And then my boyfriend had quiche. I don't like quiche, but my boyfriend had quiche and chips, and he had a pudding, but I didn't have it. I just had the Hunter's chicken and rice. I think it was Hunter's chicken. And they also made another appointment for me. So I have an appointment next month as a follow-up appointment to see the surgeon. So he's going to talk to me about the second lumpectomy, and it's going to go to pathology. And when it is in pathology, they will do some more tests. And then when it comes back from pathology, I will find out what the next course of action is. But he did say I could have a third operation, which I don't want, because obviously I have to take time off work for all these operations, and I don't get paid for that. I don't get any sick pay. And then, but basically, there's also some issues going on with work as well, because the labor government is going to make 0-hour contracts illegal. So that's going to affect me. So I have a feeling I know what they're going to do, but I don't want to say what they're going to do on this video because I don't know for sure what they're going to do. But I do actually have a lot of stress surrounding my work because of the work that I do, and so that's quite stressful. So I'm sure stress isn't helping my cancer, and the situation surrounding my employment contract isn't helping my cancer either. And so in addition to that, so with this diabetes, I've got lots of things wrong with me, but I'm just going to talk about the three, like the liver fibrosis, which is just one step above cirrhosis, and the retinopathy. So I'm going to have a retinopathy appointment, and I also received a message, an email or a text message saying that next month I have an appointment to talk to gastroenterology about my liver fibrosis, but it's going to be a telephone appointment, so I don't know what they're going to talk about. They're probably just going to try to prescribe me some more medication. And then so after I had my lunch, I came home and I was really tired because they woke me up to try to get me out of there because they needed the bed. So I just laid down and slept some more until the phone was ringing. And then when the phone was ringing, I decided to get up. And then when I get up, I did some work on my personal business on my other YouTube channel, really. I did some work on my other YouTube channel. And then I got some hate mail from a friend of mine because his daughter has run off, and he asked for my help. But basically, with this hate mail that he sent me, basically he doesn't want all the help that I was giving him. And it wasn't very nice, but I'll just let it go because it's his daughter, and if he's not interested in knowing what she's doing, that's up to him. And I don't really want to talk too much about it because it's an ongoing situation. The only thing that I will say is, I went through something similar to that, and if it had been me, I definitely would want to know what my child was doing. If I had the capability, I definitely would go where my child was. But he doesn't want to do that. And so that's an issue between him and his daughter, which I'm just going to let it go. If that's the way he wants to be, I'm just going to let it go. I don't really understand it, but there's obviously some dynamics between him and his daughter that I'm not privy to. So that's it, really. That was my day, and that was my operation. I'm not going to be able to take a bath tonight. And they said, well, you're not going to be able to take a bath because you can't get your wound wet. But that's all I have is a bath. But I've got a little chair, a stool that I can sit in the bath, and I can splash the water on me without getting the wound wet. And that's what I'll have to do for a week or two until the wound starts to heal. And that's what I'll have to do. So now you know what happened with my second lumpectomy. Told you everything that happened. So now you know, and now I'm being told I may have to have a third operation on top of everything else. So that's it for this video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching my video, keeping up with what's going on with my breast cancer. Oh, but I forgot to say one more thing about my liver fibrosis. I was looking it up on the internet, and said breast cancer can actually cause liver fibrosis because the cancer cells can escape. And then when the cancer cells escape into the liver tries to repair the damage, and that's what causes the fibrosis. So I'm not sure exactly what might cause my fibrosis. They're just going to say that it was brought about by fatty liver disease and blame me, blame the victim. And I guess that's it. That's the last thing that I wanted to talk about on this video, is my liver fibrosis could have been caused by the cancer. So thank you again for watching my video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. I'll make you a new video when I get some more updates with regard to my cancer journey. Thank you.